Hello and welcome to your first 2D game in Godot 4. This game is called Dodge the Creeps, where you have to move a character around and avoid the enemies as long as possible. In this game, you will learn how to create a complete 2D game in the Godot editor, structure a simple game project, move the character, spawn random enemies, and count the score. Before we begin, we will have to download the Godot editor. This link right here is the Godot editor download. So I'll put the link in the description, but you can also copy it right here in the top left. In order to download the Godot editor, you have to click this button and it will download into your files. And when you go to your files, you have to extract the file right here. And once you extract the file, it will create a new folder for you where you can double click the folder right here. And if you click this file right here, it will open up your Godot editor. Once you're opened up your Godot editor, we will need to download the Dodge the Creeps asset folder. The Dodge the Creeps asset folder is in the link in the top left. I'll put this also in the description. You'll have to download this file, and once you download it, you have to extract it. I've already downloaded it, so I don't need to download it. And once you've downloaded and extracted it, you'll get this file. Once we've done all of this, we can start the game. For our first step, we will have to create a new project. When we create a new project, I'll call this Dodge the Creeps tutorial. And I'll have to choose a folder. I already have a set folder for this, so I'll create a new folder for inside this folder and call it Dodge the tutorial. And you select this folder and I'll create. For our next step, we will have to take our arts and fonts folder and the assets folder and right here, and we have to take these and put them into our new folder or our project folder. Once you moved your arts and fonts folder to your project, your folder should end up looking like this. When you return to your Godot editor, you can see your fonts and arts folder will join your folder in your file system. Once we have collected all of this, we can go to project settings and we can go to Windows and change the width and height to 480 and 720. After that, we will need to go to the stretch right underneath mode and change that to canvas item and keep that on keep. After that, we are done for this. Okay, so now in this project, we will create 3 independent scenes called player, mob, and HUD. And we will combine all this into one scene. Now that we have all this ready, we can create the player scene. Okay, so our first scene is called the player scene. So what we're first going to do is click Other Node and search up Area 2D. This will be our character. And here it is. Once you've created that, it should show up in the top left. The Area 2D node will detect objects that overlap with the player. And we'll also change the name of this by double clicking. Now in Godot, we can add children nodes to a certain node. So we won't be adding children nodes yet, but before we do that, we'll have to click the player node and click this certain thing right here called group select. This will make sure that you don't accidentally move or resize them when clicking on your player. Now let's just save this as player and it should show up right here as your scene. Now we can add children nodes. So in order to add children nodes, we can go click our player and left click, or we can do Control A or Command A, depending on if you're on Windows or Mac OS. And click on Add Child Node, and we'll type animated sprite. Okay, so we added the animated sprite by creating a child node and typing animated sprite right here. Okay, so now we have to add animations to our player. So we will have to click the animated sprite node, child node, and click on the right of inspector. Click on animation and click the sprite frames and click new sprite frames, and then click it again to get this. Okay, so now we can add different animations. So we'll change this default one to walk, and we'll add another animation called up. Okay, so once we've done that, we could go into art and add what's called player gray up and player gray up in 1 and player gray up 2, and drag that to the up section. And we can do the same thing for walk. So when we drag that to walk, so now we have this. Once we've done that, we're going to need to scale them down. So when we want to scale it down, we have to click transform, and it should show up here. So we can change this to 0.5 and change for both X and Y. And then finally, we'll need to add a collision shape as a child of the player. This will determine the hitbox of a character. So right here. And when we need, now we're going to need to create a capsule shape 2D which is the best shape to fit for this file. So let's zoom in. There we go. And click on collision shape, and click on shape, and there should be new caps. Yeah, right here, new capsule shape 2D. Click this one, and we can reshape it. Let's zoom in, and let's click reshape it just so that it's covering it up. There. So this will be our hitbox. And when you're finished with this should be our player scene, and we can save this, and we are done with the player scene. Now this will be the end of the first part of our video. I'll upload the second part of our video soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next video.